Hey, what's up? How are y'all doing? I uh I hadn't done this in a while. I just realized last time was in late July. Okay, it's been a while. Wow. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to this concept, this um come think with me concept. So basically it's just me talking to the camera. We're having a chill night. I'm home. I'm with my tea even though it's fucking 40 degrees in there, and I'll explain that in a second. Yeah, I'm just with my tea, and the concept of the video is just that I will have a free flow conversation with myself, if you will. Basically, I will just take a prompt, something that people think that is true about language learning, and challenge that so that I don't know, we can all think together. That's the vibe here, and so that it can maybe yield some new ideas, some new point of views. It's a very cool process for me, and I hope it's fun for you to watch. Oh, my phone is vibrating. I don't like that. I'll put it in personal do not disturb mode. So yeah, I was saying, I have my tea, but it's probably 28 degrees Celsius in my room, which is like low 70s, I think, Fahrenheit. I'm not sure, but stupidly hot in there. And I heard something quite. I mean, I know it's true, but it kind of seems off. And it's that when you are really hot and you're having a tea, it helps your body to like sense that it's really hot outside and to cool your body down. And it turns out that yeah, if you have coffee or anything, a hot beverage when it's really hot, it helps. It helps with temperature regulation. And I'd say that saunas work in this way too. Like you just go in the sauna in summer, and when you go out, even if it's like 32 outside, I feel like you can regulate your temperature better. But yeah, tell me what you think about that. Hmm. I just burned myself. Oh my god. That's stupid. Oh, by the way, I'm in a new place. That's why I don't have all the lights set up. I do have two lights on right now, but they're very dim, so that's why I can't really tell they're here. I have light here too, so that you can see me, so that my face is bright. And yeah, I changed apartments. I'm now somewhere else in Montreal. I won't say where, obviously, but yeah, that's why it's new. I already filmed a podcast episode here with Quentin. His name was Quentin. Was my well, still is my childhood friend, and it was a very cool episode. So anyway, like I'm just digressing here. I think we should get started with the video. I like just to get in the flow. It's a very chill video. It's just for me to express myself and think aloud, because I find that when I think out loud, it's just much easier for me to see where my ideas are flawed and see how what I could challenge about my beliefs and what I assume, what I don't assume, what I don't know. The whole process is just clearer when I do it out loud. It kind of, and if it's filmed, I have to, well, first of all, it's not weird if I talk to a camera. If I were to talk alone, it would be a bit more weird, but whatever. And second of all, I have to make sense, right? If I start one idea and I want to like explain it, I have to finish that, right? I have to make sense. And that's when I will find out where what I say doesn't make sense and where I need to do more research or think deeper, I guess. Wow, I really burnt my tongue here. It hurts. My god, let me get some water real quick. If you want to know for how long it burned my tongue was burned, just check the description. I'll do my best to remember and and put it down for how long it was hurtful. Oh my god, it was bad. I'll wait to have more tea. This is sleepy tea, by the way. It's not tea that gets you like energetic and all. All right, I think now is a good time to actually start the video. It was too much fooling around. Okay, the prompt I want to challenge today is the following. Learning a new language takes time. Ooh, that is not conventional. What I'm about to say is not conventional, and I think it'll be controversial, but I'll say it. No, it doesn't take time. That's not how it works. And I think people say this out of fear. And I think that saying, "Oh, I don't have enough time to learn a language," is just avoidance, right? And I'll explain a bit more, right? I'll delve into this. What does it mean, fear? What does fear mean in this context? So, when you say I don't have enough time, you imply that learning language takes time, right? So you imply that you should fully focus on it and that you should give it enough time, right? What you have is not enough because we all have some time to some extent, right? Maybe we don't have full days or full afternoons or whatever, but we all have like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. I mean, we're all human beings, so we have to eat, we have to shower, we have to do all that. So there is some time left in our schedule, even though like maybe on paper it's every slot of your calendar is full, but if you look closer, you'll have time. And I think the people that say this, I think I might have said that in the past. I just don't remember, and for what language, because I've never been a very busy person. I have to admit, but I think that it's just the expectation of committing to a language, and if to the people that say this, if they don't commit enough, or if they don't like sit at a desk for, I don't know, 2 hours every day, they think that they will fail. So instead of just doing a little bit here and there, they don't do it out of fear because they think they will fail. I think that there's this pretty stupid idea. I mean, it might come from somewhere, it might make sense in some context, but people think that if you don't succeed in the first 3-4 months, or if you don't see like substantial progress, well, it means that you won't succeed, right? It means that you lost your chance. It's like you wasted your time and you wasted your energy, because if the first 3 to 6 months didn't yield anything, well, then following months will be the same. I think that this is just some bias. I think it's not true, right? Because what you've been doing for 3 to 6 months, first of all, it doesn't always show, right? It's not always clear how much progress you made or how much you achieved, what your level is. There's that. And second of all, what you've done for the past 3 to 6 months are not going to indicate or predict what you will do in the following 3 months or following 6 months. So even if you had like a shitty method, even if you really avoided everything that taught you the language, right? If you were really avoiding the situations that would lead you to learn, therefore not learning, right? Well, all of that, you can, get your lesson, or at least shuffle things around, right? And try new things, new approaches, seek some help, seek some advice. And then months after that, you will learn if this happens, right? Even if it's been 2 years, 3 years that you're struggling with the language. Well, first of all, regardless of your method, of what you're doing, of course, you will have learned some stuff, right? And this thing can compound, and you can leverage that to learn more if you use the right method or the right I don't know, principles maybe. And I kind of lost myself here. Well, but yeah, like what you've been doing doesn't predict what you'll be doing. And that's maybe what they think, right? They think that they get one chance, one shot at it. They think that if they fail at their first attempt, it won't happen, because it will be like kind of a proof. Yeah, it will be proving to them in the world that they can't, right? They're not able to learn a language, when in fact it's a very, I'd say, like, difficult process that involves a lot of pain, that involves a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, I don't know, if you've learned any language, you can tell us like all of the challenges and setbacks that you've been through in the comment section. But it definitely involves a fair share of painful and uncomfortable situations, and I discuss about it a lot on my channel. This is actually where you learn, because all of those negative emotions, that's what triggers neuron plasticity. Even though positive emotions still have an impact on that, but nothing is as powerful as negative emotions for neuron plasticity and for rewiring your brain, right? So I think I had a good idea I wanted to talk about, a good like point of view, and then I just forgot what it was. This is free flow. That's what happens. Fuck, I forgot. I think the heat is making it hard for me to like focus, because I don't know if you can see right now, but I'm sweating and I burned my tongue. Fuck. Okay. But yeah, okay, no, I got it now. I have it now. When people say I don't have enough time, it involves other people. Okay, now it might sound weird, but hear me out. They say this to other people, okay? So it's involving other people, so it's also protecting themselves from like just not doing it, right? It's bringing a reason that is valid, right? Because we'll see how it's not really true, but, and it's also making it, it's an acceptable reason for others too. And I think that when they will learn a language, if they do, those people that just think that they don't have enough time, then they'll really hit a roadblock. That is that they will also like seek validation. So I think those people also might tell everyone that they're learning a language just to get the validation. No shaming here, right? This is very like, this is very human. I think that we're all like this when we were born, and then we just evolve through experiences and everything, and then we kind of like upgrade our mindset, our perception of ourselves and others. And I think that that's like the base level, right? That's intuitively, sorry. That's what you would think. It makes sense, right? Learning a language is difficult, therefore it requires time in a formal way. It requires a method, it requires everything. But I think, like I said before, this is all fear of failing. Because if you have a method and if you give it time, or no, that's not what I wanted to say. If you allocate a lot of time to it, then on paper you should learn, right? It's all logical. I have a method, I have maybe a teacher, maybe a book, whatever, program, course, and I allocate like 2 hours of it per day, 2 hours of my day for it. Therefore, I will learn, right? It's all logical. But if you've done it yourself, you would probably be able to testify that it doesn't work. Sitting at a desk, watching some videos, they can be helpful, but, or I don't know, just like reading vocabulary lists, reading grammar books, stuff that explains the grammar to you in a formal way, in a very academic way, you know that it doesn't work. Why? Because grammar and vocabulary lists, that's a projection of the language itself, right? So we took people that made those lists, they took the full language, right? And they tried to make sense of every rule, right? They came up with rules. There's no rules when you're just like speaking intuitively. It's just what your intuition tells you to say or not, right? So they came up with rules and everything. So it just like think of it as a three-dimensional being or entity, and you shine light at it, and then you have a white wall right after it. What you see on the wall would be the grammar, and the actual three-dimensional entity, that's the language. So if you know everything that's on the wall, right, if you see what's on the wall, it doesn't mean that you will have a good idea of what the actual thing is. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I was saying. Out of fear, they're choosing something, or they're committing to something that on paper very logically should teach them how to speak, right? But what actually works, what actually gets you to see the structure, the three-dimensional thing, right? Not just looking at its shadow. It's like if I were to do this, like the wolf, right? It looks like a wolf on my shirt or on the wall behind, but it's actually just my hand, right? So you can't tell what something is based on its shadow. Same thing goes with languages. You cannot tell what a language is, right? Get a feel of it, understand like the different nuances, different even pronunciation. If you just look at the phonetic alphabet and you just like read phonetically, something's missing, right? When you just pronounce something phonetically, well, you don't have the flow, you don't have a lot of information that is just lost when we try to encode the information. So where the language is out there. It's in the world, right? It's in between people when they're speaking to one another. It's in people's mind. It's in the global community that speaks that language. And trying to speak and be a part of the community by just looking at a screen, by just assisting lectures, or I don't know, doing things in a way that is accepted, that is thought to be effective, but that doesn't involve being out there and touching the language, right? And actually being around the people. Well, this is just something that you do out of fear. Sorry, but I don't know. It's probably very controversial. If you think otherwise, please tell me. Let's debate, of course, respectfully. But yeah, that's the main idea I wanted to tackle. There's something else. So yeah, why do I say it's not true, right? Because what you have to do does take time. But it doesn't need to take like one big chunk of time at a time. And I would even say that this is so ineffective. We're humans. We all have an attention span. No matter who you are, maybe you're a surgeon, maybe you're someone that is trained to pay attention, to focus for a long amount of time. We all need rest. We all need sleep. We all need to do something else. If I were to talk to this camera for 4 hours, I would be saying nonsense by hour 2, or maybe even earlier. Maybe I've been saying nonsense all along. Who knows? But so when you learn, especially at first, your endurance is really, really short. I'd say like at first, if you're trying to read something, it's no more than a few minutes. So why would you want to sit at a desk or attend a lesson for 30, 45, an hour? 80% of it will just be too much for you. So you do need time, but very small chunks of it. And everyone has a few minutes in their day. Or, I don't know, just prove me otherwise. But I think that everyone has a few seconds or a few minutes that, their mind is kind of free, or they can just like look up a word, right? That's something I tell people to do. if you want to learn at first, it's no harder than just like being curious about something, looking it up. Maybe you can say it out loud, and you can just put your phone away and continue off to something else. It's really informal. And why does this work? Well, because it's not the way you'll learn the full language. That's just the introduction, right? That's just to warm you up. That's just to make you comfortable around it, make you comfortable around reading it. Maybe it has a different alphabet system, making you comfortable around the pronunciation, around the language itself, some simple structures. Okay? And if you do this repetitively, you'll notice two things. First, that what you look up is going to be more and more complex, right? It's going to be like full sentences at some point, instead of just like, oh, how do I say and, how do I say if, how do I say all that. And two, the frequency of you looking up things, like looking up vocabulary, looking up expressions, verbs, or looking up translations. Maybe you have some word that's been like in your mind and you can't really wrap your head around it and you need the translation. The amount of times you will look something up will be maybe exponential, right? It will just rise quickly. And what it shows, what it like indicates, is that you are starting to be obsessed, because it's taking a lot of space in your mind. And now we can take it back to the first prompt. Learning language takes time, or learning language requires time. Yes, but not in the way people think. It requires a few seconds here and there. That's it. You can be in the metro, you could be at the traffic light. Well, I don't advocate that, but I don't advise you to do this, but you could be in class. You can be somewhere where you don't have like your mind is just like wandering off to something else. You're daydreaming and like, I wonder how would I say like freedom in Portuguese. And you just look it up. You pronounce it, or maybe like you move your lips to it, and that's it. And so I think the correct thing to say would be, learning language requires attention. That I fuck with. This is the real requirement, right? Time, there's two things. Everyone has some, and you could free up sometimes, because most of what we do during the day, like none of it really matters. I mean, like reading emails, think of it this way. Reading emails could be like, you would survive, right? Even for your job and everything. Most emails that you read are not essential. I mean, that's not my field here, but that's what it is. That's how it is. And you could free up sometimes by I don't know, optimizing something else, by something that there's an idea called batching. So if you go and get your mail every day, right, it takes you 5 minutes every time. But if you were to do it once a week, if you can, right, if you have the ability to do this, if it represents no risk of like not seeing important mail, it would still take you 5 minutes, or maybe like 10, because you have more mail. But that's too much, like 7 minutes. So you would be saving, I don't know, 30 minutes per week. So that's the idea here. Two things. You have enough time, and it doesn't require all that much time. But if you are someone that is going through something traumatic, something that is tough, something that really takes all your attention, something that you daydream about 24/7, that you dream about, that it keeps you up at night, well then you don't have what it takes to learn a language, which is free attention that you could just give to the language itself, so that you could become obsessed, and so that it can grow in your life, grow in your mind, right? You're just planting a seed and watering it a little bit every time you look up a word, and every time you do this, every time you want to be around people that speak that language, every time you, all this. So the people I'm talking to right now are the people that think that they don't have enough time, because those people are scared. And I've been in their shoes. I know how it feels like. It's it has to be scary. It's it's the unknown. It's so different from anything that you know. Other languages represent other cultures, other ways of seeing things. It represents another world. And of course, there's going to be some apprehension. So knowing that you are scared and just admitting that you are scared will allow you two things: being comfortable around it, the fact that you're scared, and you will be able to follow your fear, right? Use it as a compass, because that's what you're scared about. That's most likely what will help you learn your language, right? I don't think anyone is scared about taking some lessons or about reading a Google Doc with all of the grammar information, all of the grammar rules. But I think many people are scared about not having a structure, which is legit. Of course, that's scary. But that's what will give you the freedom to like evolve as fast as you can or as fast as you want. Doesn't have to be fast. It can be really slow. But you'll see that it just removes a lot of constraints on your learning and it makes it so much more efficient. And yeah, that's kind of it. Let me think if I'm having trouble like finishing my sentences. I hope it all makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I haven't drank my tea, but it was too hot. Oh yeah, it still hurts. For those of you that don't know, I burned my tongue like probably second minute of the video, and it still hurts right now. um, so yeah, I mean, just saying that you don't have enough time to learn the language just shows that you're scared, but there's nothing wrong about that. Actually, it's cool that you're scared because you care about it, right? And if you just realize that you're scared, it just takes a weight off of your shoulders. And once you know, you can just like start little by little. Because if you're not obsessed, if you don't have this inner genuine interest that gives you all that energy, all that courage to like go through challenges, you will quit. It'll be too much. It's a big endeavor. So start small. Don't maybe like, yeah, it's not a sprint. It's really, you need to warm up. You need to warm up your curiosity. You need to warm up this endurance of yours, right? At first, like I said in the beginning, if you don't know a language and I just show you how to read it and pronounce it, if you have those two conditions ticked, even then, if I give you a text to read, it'll take you so much effort. It'll take you so much energy. And if you just like give your curiosity more than what it's asking for, you're just going to like end up not interested in the language. So take it easy. Just listen to me when I say that formal learning, it was not meant for languages. For math, great. For science, great. Languages, they're out there, right? So try to keep it as real as possible. Get the information you're curious about and nothing else, and you'll see that it'll go so much smoother. I think I'm done with everything I wanted to say. It was really interesting. I had a lot of fun. It's been 29 minutes already. Feels like I started 5 minutes ago. I hope that it was fun for you to watch or listen to as well. I think it's a little bit like a podcast, but it's not a podcast. It's really like a video. I think it's fun to see me. Can you see me sweat right here? I'm really sweaty right now. It's fun to see me like trying to find my words and try to make sense of what I say, or trying to say something that makes sense. But yeah, I think we're hitting the end here. Thank you for watching. I hope that was fun for you. Already said that. Okay. À bientôt.